All right, guys, before we get into this show, I'm talking about the Lawnmower 3.0. And I don't know if you can hear the buzzing, but I want to let you guys know I do not let pain kill my buzz. Now, Manscaped was nice enough to send me over a Lawnmower 3.0. No pain while you're grooming. I mean, this is a fine finished product, phenomenally built, solid, durable, lightweight. And I'm telling you guys, when you're shaving, literally no nicks and cuts. Get yourself one of these. And I'm going to give you guys a promo code for an amazing discount. So head on over to manscaped.com. I've also linked it below here on my YouTube channel. But I'm telling you guys, what a phenomenal product. Manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLINE. I know that's a fitting name. You know, you see my shower rants all the time on Instagram. I just thought I'd, call it Shower Lion. So upon checkout, guys, when you get your Lawnmower 3.0, use promo code Shower Lion. You're going to be very, very happy with the product. And like I said, I'm testing it here out on my arm, and I'm really putting in some pressure here. And again, no pain. Well-built product, manscaped.com. Use promo code Shower Lion upon checkout. Let's get to the show. Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. Happy Friday, everybody. Today we're doing a mock draft from the 9th position. And, I may not go robust RB strategy on this one. I'm going to try something different here. I'm going to implement a wide receiver in the first 3 picks. Ideally, I'm going to see what wide receiver I can get. I'm going to try some different strategies here. We are, again, drafting from the 9th position here, as you can see. Now, if you are in the car listening on audio, I will be reviewing every single round, so you can take in this mock draft, understand who's coming off in each round to help you better prepare for your draft. Now, we are in full flow fantasy football season. Once August hits, that's it. You turn on the accelerators, green light, let's go. Everything's a go. So I am beyond excited to share this mock draft with you as we get into that fantasy football spirit. I'm going to be walking you through the first 6 rounds. Again, this is a 12-person league. And I believe it's 1-point PPR. So, I'm excited to get through this. Before we do, guys, make sure you guys head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com, where I walk you through all 16 rounds. In the 16-round draft solution, I give you all the optimal players to draft in each round, sleepers, breakouts, and the Sneaky 7 formula, along with the Cuddy system, the robust RB strategy, everything you need to make sure that roster is optimal. Because sometimes you draft a tight end and, that tight end, let's say, busts. Well, you don't have a backup plan. So I teach you in 16 rounds how to get a backup plan for a backup plan and make sure that roster is fully optimal, okay? So head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. I've also linked it here below on the YouTube channel. We've got 57 seconds till this thing starts. And I'm telling you guys, it's going to be a huge year. I am excited. I want to let you know, due to the world situation, as you know, there's some uncertainty with players possibly getting sick or whatever may happen to them. So make sure that you do tell your commissioner and say, hey, man, listen, or if you are the commissioner, try to increase the bench spots for your team. That way, you can have some depth on your team in case somebody, gets sidelined for a few weeks. Now, anybody that has been sidelined so far here in the offseason usually takes about a week to heal. These guys are elite athletes, whatever it may be. They will be back to shape. They may miss a week in your fantasy lineup. And that's why I tell you guys in the 16-round draft solution, make sure you guys have a lot of depth because you need to have a backup plan for a backup plan, especially with the running back position, because there's only a handful of running backs that are really viable that get the volume. That's why I implement the robust RB strategy. Now, I may implement it here at the 9th position, but we're going to see what happens here and who I go with. Let's roll. Here we go. Now, I chose the 9th position particularly today because it is that tricky position where a lot of people are like, oh, who do I go with? Who do I get? Do I get a wide receiver? Do I get a running back? Well, let's see who lands to us at the 9th position, and then we can make a decision, okay? Now, as you can see here, this is the guy I like going first overall, Saquon Barkley. I just feel he has a higher ceiling than Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey just came out and said, I don't know what report site he did it on, but he basically came out and said that he would draft himself first overall. So obviously feeling very confident after last year's pinnacle performance. I only expect a bit of a decline. How much? That's yet to be seen, right? So Cinderella season last year for Mr. Christian McCaffrey. Will that continue this season? We will see. So Saquon coming off the board first. Again, that's very rare. Typically, Christian McCaffrey comes off the board 99% of the times, but that's interesting. Maybe a 16-rounder or somebody just thinking outside the box and knows that Saquon's ceiling could be higher this year, and McCaffrey due for a decline. Either way, I think you're good with either one of these guys at 1-2. Zeke Elliott at 3, Mr. Safe and Reliable. Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas at 5, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You can see Clyde Edwards-Helaire sliding up the draft boards now. Now, I typically like a running back here. So there's a couple of good guys here that I like. I do like Josh Jacobs. I think Miles Sanders, he is climbing up that draft board simply because his coach said he's going to get 300 carries. I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs here. I feel safe and secure. I want to show you who I passed up on wide receiver. I could have easily went Devontae Adams, Julio Jones here. Not sold on Tyreek Hill due to his volatility game in, game out. And Hopkins, I am questioning the volume he will get. So out of all these guys, I did feel more comfortable going with Josh Jacobs, full workhorse running back, going to get the volume. Now, Jeremy Hill was acquired, but then again, just released by the Raiders. Now, I didn't feel Jeremy Hill was a bunch of a threat anyway, but either way, you know, they believe in Josh Jacobs. He's going to be the guy. I think they're just adding a little bit of depth, obviously not reaching and going for a guy that's extremely talented, like, let's say, Devontae Freeman. Well, was extremely talented. I don't know what, you know, how he'd hold up these days. He's just kind of declined since. But the point I'm trying to make is they're not bringing somebody that can rush 1,000 yards. They just want to get a little bit of security for Jacobs. That's what they did with Hill. Then he got released, which was very interesting. All right, so Saquon, McCaffrey, Zeke, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas. I think a little high for Thomas coming off a pinnacle year. People are drafting him based on last year. I mean, he's never going to reach those heights. What do you have, like 185 targets, 149 receptions? That is insane. I mean, it was a pinnacle year. I don't trust it. Dalvin Cook, I don't trust him. He, never finished a season in 3 years. You heard me say this. Derrick Henry, I would jump Derrick Henry ahead of these guys all. Maybe put him at number 2 or even number 4, 2 to 4 easily. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, love the talent, love the upside. My question is, how much volume is he going to get, and how good is his pass protection? Yet to be seen. Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and Joe Mixon to round up the first round. Now, Joe Mixon, I've watched him throughout the years. His pinnacle year was, like 8 touchdowns. He doesn't put up a ton of fantasy points on a suspect offense coming in with Burrow. Who knows? Who knows what you're going to get there, okay? So, Joe Mixon there, coming off at the end of the first round. Julio Jones started the second round, Nick Chubb, and DeAndre Hopkins. So I got to make a decision here. Now, I did say I would look at wide receivers here. So again, I look at these options. I do see Kenny Galladay, who will not be back when I come back. Or I look at a running back like Todd Gurley, who I really, really want in this round, okay? So I'm going to go wide receiver. I'm just going to change it up here. I'm going to go with Kenny Galladay. I think, I like Allen Robinson potentially this year. Godwin or Evans could have a ceiling. Godwin or Evans. Let me say that again. We don't know who's going to emerge there. So I'm going to go with Kenny Galladay here and just secure an ace wide receiver. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to come back around and see who falls to me. Can I still get Gurley? Probably not. Can I still get the running back that I want at the third round? That is something I really want to test out here and get a feel for, because the problem is I don't want to pass up on a workhorse running back, and I just did, and that really hurts me because there's a ton of depth at wide receiver, right? And let me pull it up here. When I look at running backs, you're going to see Miles Sanders. I passed up on Miles Sanders. Again, that hurts, right? A guy that could get a ton of volume. I passed up on other guys that like Todd Gurley. Jonathan Taylor could break out. Leonard Fournette, right? Guys in the second round I could have got potentially that are full workhorse running backs. So we're going to see if they slip. Now, Miles Sanders, I see him slipping here mid-second round. So I'm going to go over it with you guys in the car here. So again, second round starting off with Julio Jones. Love the talent, obviously. Nick Chubb, don't trust him. Kareem Hunt is there. I would never draft a guy that is sharing a backfield with a guy that's just as good as him, okay? So that's a rule that you guys should be going with as well. DeAndre Hopkins, I question how many times he's going to get the ball when they spread out 4 wide. Kyler Murray, how good is his accuracy to thread the needle to Hopkins consistently in double coverage? That's a big question mark for me. Enough of a question mark to make me say I'm just going to stay away from Hopkins. I don't see him getting 150 to 165 targets. That is suspect considering Larry Fitzgerald maxed out at 109 last year, and he's still there. All right, so we got Kenny Galladay was what we went with. But again, it breaks my heart, and this is why I got to go robust RB strategy, because I would have rather had a Todd Gurley here, a guy that is primed for a massive workload, okay? Kenny and Drake, Chris Godwin, Miles Sanders, Aaron Jones, don't trust him. Again, this guy, as you can see, whoever this guy Matthew is here, what he's doing here, whoever this guy is, went Michael Thomas and Aaron Jones. Now, the problem with this is these guys are both coming off like record years. They are going to significantly decline. I would never, ever do this. Never ride the high too much, okay? Pat Mahomes coming off here, and I see him slipping up the boards here. He is coming off ahead of Lamar Jackson. So, I mean, it depends on which draft you're doing, who you're doing it with, but love Mahomes here, obviously, but I'm not investing a second-round pick. Todd Gurley took my pick, George Kittle, and Mike Evans. Rounding it out for round 2. Round 3 is starting, and it kicks off with Travis Kelce, Austin Eckler, Allen Robinson and Odell. Now, Odell, I always see him coming off here early in the third. Obviously, better value than he was the past 3 years. I'm still not sold. I still think Landry's the one there. Obviously, Landry coming off a bit of a surgery. How is he going to do? I still think he's got that rapport with Baker. Now, Odell saying he's going to step up this year, but will his body hold up? I don't know. I'm not really sold on him at all. A.J. Brown, love the value. I would rather have A.J. Brown than Odell here. Great value here in the third round. I like him. And I could have waited and went Gurley here and came back and went A.J. Brown, but I don't think he would have fallen. Adam Thielen, James Conner, and DJ Moore. So I take a look here and I take a look at the running backs. I could get Leonard Fournette here, and I bet you David Johnson slips. So I'm going to get here. I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette because just based on ADP, I don't think David Johnson will fall here, but it'd be interesting to see if he does. If not, I can get myself another running back. Okay, so again, I love A.J. Brown this round. James Conner, I love the upside. I love the talent. But the problem with James Conner is those injuries. Do I trust him? That's going to be hard to say. Now, he was one of the guys that didn't opt out this year, which is a lot of credit. So I went on and did a video about him. He ended up liking the video and giving me one of those flex arms in the comments with 100 beside it. So obviously the guy watching my videos, and I like him, man. A lot of heart, but do I trust him for fantasy? They brought in McFarland. Do I trust that offense? That's a big question mark to me. So, I trust the offense. I don't know if I trust him, particularly for fantasy. Okay, so I went Leonard Fournette here, and then Jonathan Taylor, Melvin Gordon, and Chris Carson here at the end of the third round. Chris Carson sharing the backfield now with Carlos Hyde, obviously showing his signs of injuries. Carlos Hyde's going to be a pest. Melvin Gordon sharing the backfield with Philip Lindsay. That's going to annoy me as well. Taylor sharing it with Mac, but I see the upside with Taylor as they could ride the hot hand. Juju, Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram starting off the fourth round. So I'm going to go here and take a look. And I can't believe he's here in the fourth round. I'm all over David Johnson here in the fourth round. And so this is really cool because I ended up getting 3 workhorse running backs that have minimal committees and are set for a ton of volume and still managed to get myself a Kenny Golladay. So this is really, really good stuff, and I really am excited about this, okay? So now let's keep going here. Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper here, coming off here in the fourth round. Now, Calvin Ridley, he's come out and said he wants 1,000 yards this season, and I think he's primed for a ton of touchdowns. Matt Ryan, I think they're going to play angry this year. Falcons obviously need to improve on what they did last year. They brought in Todd Gurley, improved the O-line slightly. Matt Ryan, wants to win a Super Bowl, and Julio Jones. They're not young guys anymore. They want to win, so they've got the tools to win, so they're going to be going hard, and I think Ridley's going to benefit a lot in the touchdown category there, because we know Julio, man, he's had like 6 touchdowns last year, 3 or so the year before. He's not a real touchdown guy, but it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out this year, but I love this offense, okay, for the Falcons. Amari Cooper, not sold on him this year, especially with CeeDee Lamb there. I just don't see him getting the volume that he did, and they've got themselves Gallup there, just 3 good receivers. I don't see him emerging. I think he only had 119 or so targets last year. Don't really see that going up. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is there. They got him for a reason, right? So it's too many mouths to feed, okay? Terry McLaurin, I don't really like the team that he's on or the quarterback, but like the talent and I like the volume. So you're trading off quarterback play for a guy that's going to, by default, get a ton of volume. Terry McLaurin could eat, and his ADP has slid up over the past month to the 4th spot. Love him here. David Montgomery, obviously great value in the 4th round, a guy that is set for a prime workload. As you can see here, this guy went Thomas and Brown, great receivers, and then got himself a workhorse running back here because he screwed up here on Aaron Jones. And I think this is going to be good here for him with David Montgomery. Le'Veon Bell here, safe and solid, but boring at best. Don't really care for him. Raheem Mostert, I think the ceiling is there. I'm personally not sold on him, but they just use a lot of mouths there to feed in San Fran. I'm not sold on Raheem Mostert. Robert Woods, safe and solid, secure, but very boring. I'm not really sold on him being a really solid receiver. Never have been, especially in his days in Buffalo. Came here on the Rams, kind of showed that he is a target there, but again, very boring and safe. Devin Singletary to round out the 4th round. Now, Devin Singletary, if they really believed in this guy, they would have never acquired Moss. That's the way I look at it. Small, scat back kind of guy, not a guy that's going to get a ton of workload. Moss is going to be getting a lot of that goal line work. So when I'm looking at a 4th round guy, I'm staying away from Devin Singletary, not a guy I definitely trust. All right, DK Metcalf, round 5. Now, I love DK Metcalf. Love him stepping up this year. Him and Lockett should be safe and solid. The problem is the team was flirting with Antonio Brown. The fact that they did that shows me that they don't believe Metcalf is the wide receiver 1. Now, a lot of people think I'm crazy for thinking this thought process, but I think outside the box, and I think like this because it makes sense, okay? So when you look at a team like, the Seahawks, why would they even look at Antonio Brown? They got to look at it and say, hey, I believe in my guy. That's it. Look at the Falcons. Are they looking at Antonio Brown? No, because they're comfortable with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. And they don't want a guy that's going to bring down the team and bring a lot of negative energy to them, right? So it's all about energy. It's all about, having that good team player. And I don't think Antonio Brown's going to be good for any team, and he's missing the first 8 games. Even though he's missing the first 8 games, I think it's still going to hurt Metcalf. All right, Keenan Allen. Round 5 here, second pick. Dak Prescott, Zach Ertz, Cooper Kupp, Mark Andrews, Cam Akers, and Kareem Hunt. I like Cam Akers, 5th round value, a guy that could emerge. So I'm going to take a look here. And as you can see, you guys, running backs is really slim now. Ronald Jones, they're saying that he gets the starting job. Am I really sold? Not really. Let's go here. I'm going to go Shark here. I like him, or Hilton. I'm good with either one. Now, again, feel out the draft. So Shark was higher on the ADP. If I can feel like Hilton will slip, I'll go Shark, and then maybe Hilton will slip. So at least I'm giving myself a chance if I'm torn between 2 players, okay? So let's round out here the 5th round here, and we'll do one more round. We'll watch it run through. Metcalf, Allen, Prescott, Ertz, Cooper Kupp, Mark Andrews, Cam Akers, Kareem Hunt, DJ Shark, DeAndre Swift, and Tyler Lockett. Then Russell Wilson. You're going to start seeing Russell Wilson, some of these quarterbacks coming off here in the 5th, 6th round, including Allen. And I think Ryan slips a little bit more if you look at the ADP here. Now, one thing I always emphasize here is you can see there's a ton of wide receiver ones here in the 6th round. From Sutton to Hilton to Diggs to Brown, Marquise Brown to Landry, to Deontay Johnson, who's a wide receiver 2, but Slayton could be a wide receiver 1, Brandon Cooks. There's a ton of guys here that are viable wide receivers, okay? But when you look at running backs here, there really isn't much to choose from. Now, there is a couple guys that could go off. Dobbins, maybe if Ingram gets hurt. Ronald Jones, I'm not really sold on, but could have a safe year. There's a couple guys, but I'm not really sold on. Madison when Cook goes down. But no one I'm really sold on, so you can wait on wide receiver. This is why I go robust RB. So again, let's see if Hilton fell, and I think I like Hilton here at wide receiver. So now we're looking at a stacked team. We've got our workhorse running backs. We've got our 3 ace wide receivers. Love this team, okay? So that's the 6 rounds, guys, for you guys. Now, if you want the full solution, including the Sneaky 7 formula, you guys want the Cuddy system, you guys want the sleepers, breakouts, all the optimal players to draft, you can get them at thefantasyfootballcounts.com. Also, a link below, guys, for the 16-round draft solution. Guys, I'm telling you, it's a game changer. I'm handing you guys a win on a silver platter. You'll absolutely love it. Head on over to thefantasyfootballcounts.com. Get the 16-round draft solution. Again, I feel really solid with my team. I can review a couple teams real quickly here. Don't like this team here. If you look at this guy here, went Tyreek Hill, Nick Chubb, Melvin Gordon, Lamar Jackson, Tyler Lockett. Guys, his running backs are completely suspect. Nick Chubb sharing a backfield with Kareem Hunt. Melvin Gordon sharing it with Lindsey. Not true workhorse running backs. Then you got Darius Geis, who's been injured, hasn't stayed on the field, sharing the backfield with guys like Peterson, Bryce Love, and other guys. Peyton Barber. What a disaster. When you look at Lamar Jackson coming off a pinnacle year, could anchor his team, but again, they brought in Dobbins for a reason, so I'm questioning how many rushing attempts he's going to get. And then Tyreek Hill, the ceiling's there, but there's a ton of mouths to feed in KC. Now, again, when you look at my team, you look at a team that I can trust. Kenny Galladay, primary target, had a good year last year without Stafford there, so the ceiling is still there. Josh Jacobs, he's the workhorse running back there. Tons of upside. Leonard Fournette, fighting for a big contract, fighting for a team that'll actually pay him big money. He's hungry. He's got to survive, right? David Johnson with a chip on his shoulder, going to get a workhorse running back load. It's a no-brainer for me. Carlos Hyde had over 1,000 rushing yards. He's going to thrive. Shark, the wide receiver 1, and T.Y., the wide receiver 1 here. Obviously injury is a concern a little bit with T.Y., but again, I feel really confident with this team. Again, let's go over this team here. Cook could boom, but hasn't finished the season. Don't like him. Miles Sanders could boom, like the upside, but big question mark and risk. If you are going to risk it with Miles Sanders, make sure you have a safer running back than Cook. Adam Thielen could be safe and solid. McLaurin could be safe and solid. Mark Andrews could be safe and solid on tight end. Not bad value for the 5th round. And Kyler Murray could have a high ceiling. People are expecting him to be Lamar Jackson, but I don't see it. And then Jordan Howard, I don't trust, so I don't like his running back core here. So again, just kind of went through a couple reviews there for a couple teams here for you. But again, that's the 6 rounds for you. Let's review it. 6th round, Higbee, Geis, Parker, Hilton, Ronald Jones, Marquise Brown, Kyler Murray, Cortland Sutton, Diggs, Michael Gallup, James White, and A.J. Green. That was the round I went with T.Y. Hilton. That's it, guys. Those are the first 6 rounds of the draft. Make sure you guys click on the link in the bio there. On my Instagram, you get 16 rounds there. If you're following my Instagram, fantasyfootballcounselor.com. check that out for the 16-round draft solution. Smash thumbs up. Leave your fantasy questions below. I'll get to as many as I can. Thank you for being here, guys. Smash the thumbs up, subscribe, and I'm out. Hope this brought you a ton of... wait for this to go through. I hope that... I like Josh Allen. I like that. Need a quarterback. I hope this brought you a ton of value, guys. Thank you for being here. Crush your leagues. Fantasy football is upon us, but I'm telling you guys, 16 rounds will be the game changer for you. I'm out, guys. Thank you, and we'll talk.